Hey everybody, it's Saturday. No, I'm not going to do the Saturday thing. Today's lesson is actually on process systems, but also a little bit touching on those subjects, but also a little bit of observations. These are observations that I see pretty much on a daily basis, beginning when I first wake up in the morning. Sometimes you see me post in the middle of the night because I just have something I gotta say. But I observe a lot of the people in real estate, particularly because that's 90% probably what we actually are dealing with. Outside of, we do a little bit of strategic metals and critical minerals and have some interest oil and energy, osmium, things like that. But real estate. So what I see a lot of times is a lot of people just their lead sources are questionable. They don't fully realize that because they're looking at getting into real estate and they get a, hey, here's a property. Most of the time these days they're daisy chained, and for you, the beginner's daisy chain is when somebody has like an interest in the property. Maybe they are got under contract or they have an assignment contract if they're a wholesaler. But then all of a sudden another person has it, another person has it, another person has it, and they're all trying to sell the contract from under it's just each other. I had a classic one when I first got in that I was, my partner at the time who passed away. This was the guy that back in 2018 who he ended up having some issues with a couple of deals, and then his wife divorced him after his deal finally fell through. His name was Victor, but his deal was one of the deals we were working on was daisy chain. This is kind of when I was very much new in this. I'd only been doing this for maybe a year at this point, but it was a classic daisy chain, and I think a lot of real estate investors get frustrated with that. I get frustrated with a lot of times because I see these and it's hard to sit there and it's hard to kind of like give them constructive feedback. This is probably a daisy chain, and what happens with daisy chains is you don't actually deal with the person that's direct to the seller or their agent. So I see a lot of that with daisy chains, and I see a lot of people just their lead sources, so they get really excited. They're newer, or it could be a variety whether they're going to buy a single family to flip or a single family to rent, or they're looking at some other multifamilies, even RV trailer parks, you name whatever it is. There's issues there. So a lot of lead sources, and then you get into the questionable lenders, the scammers, the spammers. If you go and ask in any of these real estate groups, say I got a deal, I'm looking for a lender, you're going to have everybody and their brother and their cousin and their cousin's best friend from second grade come out of the woodwork and be like, hey, I can lend this money to you. Next thing you do, you're sending them a deal. They could be just trying to get the property, or they could be the same people that call you about your extended warranty on your car. It's going to be from Albania or somewhere like that, Mongolia. I don't know if there's inner Mongolia or out of Mongolia. I used to joke about that all the time. But so a lot of times you have these spam lenders or fake lenders, and sometimes they get people to pay $500 or $1,000. Common ploy is they get somebody to give them some EMD directly. Never pay EMD directly. Do it through the title company. Get a title company. If you're a seller or you're seller or any kind of person's business, you should have a title company. If you guys need some title companies or some people that can help you, I have a wide variety of resources. I have attorneys who specialize in. I'm one that can do all 50 states and they can do titles. We got a couple other sources that are good for doing virtual valuations. We can do collateral DNA reports. I have resources, so just reach out to me. We do provide them to all of our investor download center participants. And right now, like I said, it's $100 through March 30th. You get the lender list, you get a lot of stuff. What you don't get, you won't get the fund manager contacts because they are extremely valuable. There are connections to hedge funds and family offices, and we'll have over 20,000 of them by April. We have about 8,000 of them now. But you do get all a lot of information just for $100. That will go up to $250 on March 31st and April 1st. And that'll be but with that, you'll also get you'll get a call with us, an onboarding call. After you payments confirmed, you get immediate access to the download center. I've still got probably 27 USB sticks to upload for the download center, plus a lot of what's on my laptop. And these are all forms that you can actually just go in and edit them yourself. And then we have your first deal, which we haven't really kind of put everything together on that yet, but if you haven't done your first deal 0 through 5, we'll have that available for the same $5.99 price right now. If you're interested in doing that, we'll do it at the $397 price. And we've done masterclass. Masterclass will actually get a $1,500 on for the next class, and that'll start in July, and we'll start bringing people in. If you get in right now, you can actually get into masterclass 02 in July for $397. So it's a pretty good deal. So if you get in before March 30th, no matter what you want to do, if you do just $397, you're in for life, and you've got everything, and you got access. And what I'm trying to also do, like I said, with these lead sources is develop, help people get better systems. So they need a front office and a back office. So next week I'm going to be going into that more in depth. I'm going to be doing some videos private for our masterclass members, but I'm going to be doing some general ones for our mastermind and the public. Maybe on YouTube, just kind of like maybe 10-minute, 12-minute, thing on what you need in your front office and what you need in your back office, separate videos, and talking about the lender lists and all the fun contacts. There'll probably be 3 or 4 of them, but those are really teasers, because obviously I'm going to be making a larger for what the people that are on programs are. But I'm also working on is trying to identify a number of maybe 2 to 3 people in every kind of area, whether they're experts in 1031 exchanges, setting up entities, LLCs, corporations, subject to seller finance. If you're looking at multifamily, it's non-syndicated, they're just looking at lending and getting loans. How do you do that? Or if you're looking at syndication, how do you put together syndications and offer memorandums and work with securities attorneys? Or if you're looking at storage, if you're looking at senior housing versus assisted living, because you can have senior housing where people just, it's good apartments and people live kind of still on their own. Then you have assisted living, and then you have like care, real care, like, hospice, not quite hospice, but, they need more services, nursing, some healthcare providers on site, memory care for Alzheimer's and dementia. You got storage, you got new construction, Airbnb and VRBOs and short-term rentals. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. So we're going to be looking for people that are experts in that, as well as cost segregation, because you can actually make a lot more money in cost segregation. We're also looking at a wide variety of things. If you have multifamily, commercial, if you have those kind of properties, you can't really do it with residential, because try putting a cell tower on your house. Your neighbors are not going to like you. But there's a wide variety. There's probably 10 or 12 areas that if you have multifamily properties or your commercial properties or whatever, you can actually go and put like cell phone towers on, and how to lease common space. And there's a bunch of little areas that help you build revenue. So we talk about our system goes, you're building income and cash flow. First, that's foremost. Then you start building wealth. Your wealth is like, hey, now I've got assets. Your assets is bringing you wealth. It's kind of bringing you the income right now to pay some bills. Eventually, maybe you can leave your full-time job, or maybe your spouse can leave a full-time job while you work this, or she works, or she or he works that. Different things, different arrangements. But you can also go into starting to build your wealth, which is where you basically have assets, and they're performing assets, and they start, you're starting able to bank serious money, and you start going into multi-generational wealth, when you can be able to build enough, assets that your children and maybe it's your grandchildren, if start having money for like college educations and health care and things that they want to do, or vacations. You start getting a little bit more resources for your family. Then you go into what we call obviously multi-generational wealth is that. Then you go into what I call redunculous wealth. And that's where you can just be, hey, you can be like out there on a sailboat and for 6 months out of the year, go to Morocco or Monaco or Monte Carlo, or, you're in Vegas every weekend. You can gamble huge amounts of money and not have to worry about it, because your family has wealth for 2 or 3 generations. Then we go to, and that's redunculous wealth. And then we go to Elon Musk wealth. If you can have $44 billion, you can buy Twitter. So that kind of wealth. So that's kind of what you want to look at, what your goals are. So what we're trying to do is build a robust system. We're having experts that can come on, 2 or 3 people that are experts in AI. AI is developing, and I've got 2 of them, and try to put an AI panel together. Each of them are going to be panels. There's going to be 3 to 5 people on these. There's going to be a self-storage panel, so 3 to 5 people that are different experts in self-storage. An opportunity for a lot of information to get broken down, and obviously it's phased. You're going to get like stuff in that, hey, we do it Monday, next week you're in, investor download center, so you'll get to see read only, watch only. Whereas if you're in master class or something else, you'll actually participate in live sessions, live events, do Q&A in those sessions, things like. So we're going to have a wide variety of options. This is not going to transition to the virtual platform, which will be fourth quarter and first quarter 2024. And that's been built. If you go to Storm Ventures Group, you'll look at their contractor store, their virtual university, and their event. We're going to be doing an event hopefully for third and fourth quarter 2024. And I'm looking at, they have 7,000 people go to their Storm Ventures Group. They're big. It's all roofing contractors and insurance people and, adjusters and all kinds of, vendors and stuff. We're going to be doing that with real estate and private money and be able to do real estate and having metals and minerals and oil and gas, energy, things that are physical, tangible, you can own. It's going to be it's going to be a big event. We're just going to start putting that together in a couple of weeks and start trying to, game it out, but also gaming out our virtual system. Everybody that's in our program now, it's been in our 2020 or PMA OG 2023 groups, will all be beta members of, so that's lifetime access to beta test it. And so, and you'll be able to get lifetime access on a lot of things. So keep that in mind. And if you want to upgrade, you can upgrade at any time for just the cost difference. Right now, the best upgrade is just coming into, do the masterclass 2023-02. And it starts in July, but you can access right now if you sign up by March 30th for $397, and you're in for that for life. So you can start getting participating now, and then do the 12 weeks starting in July. But you'll be able to do the follow-up sessions. But like I said, a lot of observations are things that just need to be done. Having true experts and true, panelists, people that know what they're doing to guide you, mentor you, advise. You can shop deals too. You can get their advice on. Maybe they want to JV or partner with you to help you get started because they were in that same boat at one time. Everybody starts somewhere. There's a lot of, you don't really want to go out there and put $2,500 down or $1,500 down at one of these paid seminar programs, because a lot of them got sued during the pandemic by the FTC. There's one company that literally was a $400 million company that paid some of the TV gurus, I think close to $150 million out of that $400 million to promote them. And they got sued because it's basically it's a constant flow of upsell. It's $1,500 at the seminar. You need the lenders. You need access to lending. People who have money. Another $1,500 rehab. You eventually get up to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. I know some people that have invested $40,000, $50,000. Hey, education is great and you pay for it, but if you want it. But there's true people that are really gurus that are gurus. They're not like the guys on, that basically the 21-year-old kid who tells you can make $1 million if you follow the system. But the guy's basically working from his parents' basement, while he's, he's doing pizza at night and doing his YouTube during the day. But he's, claims to have a Lamborghini when he really has like a 1995 Chevy shitbox, just to use the right word. So there's a lot of those out there. We're not going to name names, but let's see it, guys. There's a guy that was Fox and Friends, who was a host, who was in real estate. He was doing turnkeys, which is, I can explain that better later. But he worked with some people that did run a scam or their Ponzi scheme kind of thing. And he's now in Portugal where there's no extradition treaty, and people still pay him to consult and still pay for his programs, even though you can go anywhere just Googling his name and it said, hey, this guy is actually hiding in Portugal because there's no extradition treaty. There's a number of those people out there. Every couple of weeks we're seeing something going on. Now, obviously, crypto is a whole different ballgame. Crypto is like scam after scam after scam after scam. And might as well just come out with Ponzi coin instead of stable coin or, NFTs. I just saw today that on Fiverr, because I was trying to contact Zishan. He's my graphics guy. I've used him for over almost 6 years now. He's awesome. If you guys need a connection, let me know, because we need business cards, graphics, logos, things like that, websites. He's awesome. Very, over 1,000. He's over done 1,000 clients, and he's got a 5-star rating, 4.9. I think it's the highest you can go actually. But now you can get your blockchain built for you, do your NFTs and all your technology with a freelancer. So how do you feel about that? If you're going to buy crypto from somebody and they turned out to use some guy, overseas in Malaysia or Mongolia or Albania, and they built the blockchain. How do you know that they don't have a backdoor? Sam Bankman-Fried had a pretty sophisticated group at FTX, and he had a backdoor to fund Alameda Research, his girlfriend's company. We're not even going to talk about her, but if they had a backdoor, think about what gets built in. If you put money into a cryptocurrency, the latest greatest coin or stable, all this different technology, cryptocurrency. I mean, Bitcoin may be the safest one and the most known, obviously. And I don't know, maybe it's Ethereum. I think it's called Ethereum. And I think Dogecoin or Dogecoin, Doge. Not exactly sure how they pronounce it. I think those are the 2 or 3 big ones, but cryptos are getting busted almost. I go to Twitter and I have like several, and I watch them, and it's almost comical. And they get really defensive when you start, criticizing them or asking them questions, and they all have cartoon characters for avatars and lasers and fire coming out of their eyes, and it's almost cartoonish, like they can't even see what the guy looks like or know his real name. Guys, you just remember, look up, here you go, Google the crocodile of Wall Street and look at her and her husband, because they got married, and they got married a couple months before they started, so they basically scammed a couple, like, I don't know, significant amount. It was like 8 figures, 9 figures of Bitcoin. And later on, it took them a few years. The FBI and everybody was looking for them. Who did this? They didn't look, they didn't know at the time it was them. And then, of course, Bitcoin rised in price enough that it's over in the billions of dollars now. So they're being charged in the billions of dollars level because, when you get busted for fraud and things, it's a scale. Well, your prison sentence and your probation and all that's a scale and how much was stolen. They're now looking at life sentences, and they're like, probably they're not in the early 30s by now. But she had she had a social media account where she was just doing stupid shit. And how they got busted? They couldn't figure out how to get a lot of money off. They were able to nickel and dime it. They finally got busted buying a gift card at Walmart. Walmart's software and their detection system was far greater than what the FBI had at the time. And that was just recent. Now the FBI is, all the SEC, they're all catching on. So you really want to watch crypto and kind of, I would just, come on, guys, physical assets, real estate. You own the title. The title's in your name. Even you got partners, you lend money, you're on the title, you're first on the title, maybe you're second if you agree to that. You got title. You own precious metals, you own gold and silver, you can store it in your safe. I wouldn't buy the stocks or the EFTs, I would buy the physical. I mean, if you can put it in a vault, there's vault programs like the Texas Depository. You can put it in your bank account. You can put it in your home safe. You can do our precious metals and stuff. Now you can't do that with a lot of strategic metals and critical minerals because I think they kind of frown on you. The state police probably, if they pull you over and you've got lithium in your car, they probably frown on that. But there are places you can invest in lithium, gallium, germanium, iridium, neodymium, dysprosium, osmium, palladium, platinum. Basically, if you guys are interested in that, let me know. I got the resources for that. Everybody that's on our programs will get at least an introduction. If you're interested in that, you can pursue it further. If not, no big deal. It's in the diversions areas of all of our groups. So we don't put it in the main group because some people don't want to do anything with it. But if you're interested, we have a diversions for every one of our groups where you can go if you're interested in other things. So it's optional that way. We don't like to spam our own people. We want to build a group. I want to build a group that's large, that's huge. I like to build a large group. I like to have thousands of people that are basically accessing this information, and that gives us money to develop this virtual system, do the conference, do all the training, the education, the networking, the connections, and be able to everybody just build wealth together like a huge network. And we're going to be able to do that because a lot of our resources a lot of the money that's generated is going into develop these resources, getting contracts, lawyered up contracts that you can do find and replace and just put your information in there, and they're good. You have a lending contracts, you have borrower's checklists, you have loan applications, pre-applications, you have credit applications, different variations, scope of work, rehab. You got analyzers and calculators for single family flips, single family rentals, multifamily syndication, storage, senior housing, RV parks, mobile homes. There's only a few things that we may be missing. My goal is to have it all in a download center, divided up into front office, back office, lenders, investors, and vendors. So really to have about 5 different areas once you're in, you got the virtual system, be able to do packages. Basically, are you going to be to a multifamily? Now you get the whole multifamily package, and you get all the forms and everything necessary for that genre or that area of real estate. If you're interested in strategic metals, you get all this stuff on strategic metals. If you want to do the training, you got a la carte versions. You can go in and think, hey, I need to get better at rehab. So I'm going to sign up for how do I rehab a Class C apartment complex and turn it into a B. Here's 100 modules you can watch, and you just basically go in and pay for the modules. You pay for the track you want, or you get a subscription. You can just bounce around. You can have a real estate subscription. You want to be robust enough where people can do what you want to do. So that is the direction of where we're going. We're also still with our PMA OG group going to be doing an investment bank opportunity. There will be a little bit of handoff a little bit to our other things out of that. A third to about a half of it is going to be for PMA OG, but the rest of it's going to be going for other groups and entities that we are doing. It's multi-dimensional. So we're doing that. And then, we got a lot of stuff going on. So you definitely want to get in touch with us, because I live and breathe all day long with trying to help investors avoid the spammers, the scammers, the cartoon characters, the avatars. We want to bring resources to you. And I look at myself as my goal is to be the Library of Congress for physical asset investors, tangible asset investors, real estate investors. I want to be the Library of Congress and the National Archives. I want to have all the resources, develop the media, have the people that are in our media groups that are experts and we're not really going to call them experts or gurus, maybe subject matter experts. It's kind of like when you go to Army, you go to basic training, your drill sergeants are with you all the time, and they're with you all the time. But when you go down range, as you get into closer to the AIT and you start learning your actual job, you start going to, like at Fort Benning, you go down to the 29th Infantry Regiment. They're the guys that run the ranges and teach you how to shoot the toes, they teach you how to shoot mortars. Those are the subject matter experts. The drill sergeants are the generalists, while the 29th Infantry Regiment guys are specialists. And if you got to learn how to do a toe launcher because you're in a limited hotel, you learn how to shoot an armor. You learn how to take out tanks. You learn all about tanks and how to shoot them at, where to shoot them at, how to deal with them. So that's what we're kind of looking at, is having the generalists, our kind of core group, but then having all the affiliates and the specialists. That's what I'm going to bring to you. That is I can't say guarantee, but that is my goal. My number one goal is to bring you all the specialists, the generalists, the vendors, the resources, the library, all at a phenomenal deal. I don't want to be charging $10,000, $20,000. I just got another person yesterday who's in our current master class, probably the fourth person in that class, said you guys need to be charging more. He's going to do a testimonial. I got 3 or 4 testimonials coming up telling us you should charge $10,000, $20,000. Who knows? Maybe at some point it might be worth that. But in other ways, we might be able to build that up. And I want to actually share some of that revenue with the people that are building this with us, and the people who, all the way back to 2017, people that I've worked with. I'd like to be able to pull back in, and a lot of people are very successful. Some people, they've done some other things, or they've come and go, or whatever it is. I just want to help everybody. So feel free to reach out to me, Nate at marshallcapital.com, info@privatemoneyauthority.com. You can also just join our free group, Private Money Authority Mastermind, on Facebook, or just like, share, and subscribe on this YouTube channel. And I thank you, and have a great weekend. I will be doing a video tomorrow, and then a video on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'll be doing front office, back office, and some other things. And we're closing in, guys, by within the next week. We'll have completed 100 videos that are available. There's some other ones that we kind of do, the private ones and some other things, but we'll have 100 videos on our main playlist. So that started back in May, so we'll have 100, and we're getting better. I'm going to be April 1st. I'll be in a place that looks like a real studio. I'll have a 4K, 8K camera, 45 megapixels. It's going to look really good. It's a professional commercial office space. Looks like where you go to meet a lawyer at or something. Anyway, have a great weekend. I look forward to talking to you.